and it's time for our next session. So before we begin, I just want to remind everyone that yes, this session is being recorded. So you'll be able to access the recordings next week at the kahoot.com/EDU Summit webpage. And we're also moderating the chat. So in the YouTube chat, if you have any questions, please post them in there, comment with us, keep engaging with us for watching it. And at the end of the session, hopefully I'm going to pick a few and I'll actually ask Sarah and Alf Inge kind of their thoughts on that. And as well, if you have any sort of large or big questions that you want the Kahoot team to answer, we have a special session for that. So it's called Ask Kahoot. It's going to be in a couple of hours. And if you scroll down on the Summit webpage, you can find a button where you can submit your question to the Kahoot team. And we're going to look through all those questions and answer as many as we can later in the day. But again, you can just put some in the YouTube chat for this session, and we'll be answering that as well. And if you want a shareable badge, you can download that at the Summit webpage too. Go find this session. You can click download the badge. You can get it right there and share it all over your social media. Okay, so today I am so excited about this session. This session is called Lessons and Learnings with Higher Ed, featuring wonderful Kahoot co-founder and professor Alf Inge Wang, and the wonderful senior manager of the learning technology team at HCT Dubai, Sarah Whittaker. Yay! So I'm so happy to have both of y'all here today. And Alf Inge, we're going to start off with you. So why don't you take it away?
Hi, and thank you so much for the introduction. So in this presentation, there will be two parts. The first part is a motivation of why you should use Kahoot in higher education. And the second part is how you can use Kahoot in higher education. So let's get going. First of all, Kahoot came from a university. So I work as a professor at a Norwegian university. And in 2006, I had an idea for how I could improve teaching of larger classes. This resulted in a prototype called Lecture Quiz, and actually we produced a lot of versions of this prototype through master students that implemented prototypes, and we did a lot of experiments, all at the university. Also, the technical platform, which was developed by Morten Versvik, was also developed at the university in the beginning. And then this resulted in Kahoot as we know it today, or an early version of the commercial tool in 2012. All right, so that was one thing. Another thing, that Kahoot was originally designed for higher education from the start, from the get-go. A lot of people think that Kahoot was designed for younger students, but actually it was designed for higher education. So first of all, it enables interaction in large classes. For instance, I teach classes with several hundred students, and then it's really hard to make meaningful interaction. But by using Kahoot, you can have a two-way interaction, which is beneficial both for the students and the teacher. Another thing which is important in these larger classes is that it's hard to know how much the students know before you teach something, and also how much they learn. So you can also use Kahoot to assess their knowledge in a fun way. Another thing that was a motivation for creating Kahoot was for the students to confirm their understanding, so they would know if they have understood the teacher correctly or not. And another thing that was important when designing Kahoot was, of course, to engage and motivate, which is kind of obvious. Okay, the third reason why Kahoot should be used in higher education is that it's also backed up by research. So I've just published a literature review, which is called The Effect of Using Kahoot for Learning, where we looked at 93 research studies on how Kahoot was used for learning. And 84% of these studies came from higher education. And the main conclusion from all these studies were that Kahoot improved the learning performance in terms of improved grades or scores on tests. Also, it was found to improve the classroom dynamics in terms of the interaction between teacher and students, and also between students and the atmosphere of the classroom in general. Another finding was it also improved the students' attitudes, motivation, engagement, but also attitudes towards the subject being taught or learning in general. Another positive result was also it improved the teacher's attitude. Usually, if you have happy students, you also have happy teachers. So that's kind of the deal. One surprising thing that we found in this study was actually it reduced student anxiety, and that was a bit surprising because Kahoot is a competition where there are some kind of scary moments, but the playful environment, the music, the colors made it less scary than real tests. Yes, so that was my pitch for why you should use Kahoot in higher education. So now we'll go to the demonstration or the demo time, where I will show you how you can use Kahoot in higher education. All right, let's have a demonstration on how we can use Kahoot or create Kahoots for higher education. One of the main challenges of making Kahoots for higher education is to get kind of deeper questions or questions where the students have to think more. Because sometimes Kahoot is just used for asking like questions you can have answered top of your head really fast. But sometimes you want, especially in higher education, you want the students to think. So I'll just demonstrate how some ideas how you can do this. It's always interesting and a bit exciting to demonstrate or do live demonstrations in Kahoot because there are always new features. So I hope there'll be no big surprises, but that's a really nice thing. So I'll just start this, create a new Kahoot here from the scratch, and we'll look at different types of questions that can be relevant. So, all right, so just create a new Kahoot. Click on create. You can also create with templates, but I just create one from scratch. The first thing I do when I create Kahoots is to give a title to the Kahoot. I will title this one Kahoot EDU Summit Demo. Okay. The description is basically used for searching. So if you want, okay, demonstration of Kahoot features, yeah. All right, and usually it's smart to have a cover image, and you can upload your own, or you can just use the image library if you have access to that. That's your subscription. Or okay, so we'll just search for, let's say, demo. Probably get something else. Yeah, no, maybe this is not what I want. This is a different kind of demonstration. Technical demonstration. See if I can, oops, technical demo. Misspelled it, so I like this one, demo. All right. There's also other things you can do, for instance, yeah, language and so on. Also, you can actually pick the lobby music here. So if you want, okay, this one is kind of funky Kahoot, I'll just use funk for this one. Okay. Now we can start to create some questions. So the first thing that could be useful when you use Kahoot in higher education is maybe to give an introduction using a video. So if you want to do that, you can go to add question if you access this one, then slide. You can, yeah, I'll just add a slide here. And in my case, I want to add, I found a YouTube video. The examples I will use now is related to my domain. So I teach computer science and programming and stuff. So it's related to that domain, but I think it can be used for any domain. So I just found a video called What is the Internet? Okay. And then you can just copy the URL for the video. Then I go back to Kahoot, then YouTube link, and then you can just paste YouTube video. And then you also have a preview. You can also end, okay, or change how long it will last and so on. Okay, I'm satisfied with this one. I should probably also have a heading. Maybe I can say, for instance, watch this video. Yeah. Okay, so that was the first one. Now, actually, I didn't, there's one default slide. I haven't used it for anything, so I'll just delete this one. Okay. Oops, delete. Okay, no, yeah, because I need at least one question to make sure it's engaging. Okay, I'll delete this one later. That's fine. Okay, another thing you can do, which is very useful, is to use the question bank. For instance, now I'm making a quiz about the internet, and then you can just start to type the question. For instance, when did the internet start? For instance, okay, and then enter. Well, I got some questions about this. This one, you can also look at alternatives. It looks okay. Okay, I will just add this one. And you can also, yeah, look through, and you can basically, this is a question bank with all the questions of the public goods. There are a lot of questions here you can use. You can save you a lot of time. Now, at least I can delete this one because I have one question. Delete. Okay, so it starts with the slide, and then I have a question about when internet starts. You can also modify, of course. If I think 20 seconds is a bit short, you can make it 30 seconds or yeah. Okay, now I will look at a different, more complicated way of asking questions. So one question type we have in Kahoot is the puzzle, which is basically about organizing questions or answers in a specific order. And you can even, that might be difficult, but there might be some easy questions for this, but you can make it even more complicated, so they have to think even more. So I will just show you one example how you can make it quite complicated. So for instance, the question is map the terms to the descriptions. So what I have done now, in PowerPoint, I have made a slide about 4 different terms that I will, and I also exported this slide as an image. So I'll just upload this image. So I think I have this one on my desktop here. Internet terms. It's just a PNG file. So I'll just import this one. So here are 4 descriptions. And then I can write the 4 terms that are described here on the slide or in the image. So the first one is hosts, a computer that is used, and the second one is upload. The third one is DNS, and the 4th one is download. So in this question, the students will get this description, and these answers are scrambled. So they have to make sure that all 4 of them map the 4 descriptions. So this requires more thinking. 60 seconds is probably enough, but you can maybe have even longer if you think 60 seconds is not enough. I think this is quite difficult questions. I'll just add 2,000 points because it's so difficult. Okay, let's take another type of question. So another type of question we have added to Kahoot is open-ended questions. And open-ended questions, you actually have to type the answers correctly. So it's more difficult. You don't have any choices, so it's more difficult to answer. So one open-ended question here, this is also related to computer science. So what is the binary number 10101110 converted to decimal? And the right answer should be 174. So this is quite difficult. At least the students need some time probably to find this answer. So they need more time. 30 seconds is not enough. And they have to type in the correct number or else they don't get any points. So maybe 60 seconds. It's also difficult, so maybe I'll give them 2,000 points. Also, I like to have illustrations on all my questions, so I'll just search for binary. Yeah, I found some nice Getty images here. I like this one. So these kind of questions, you can also do the same thing with math, like calculations, or you can even have more complicated questions as image if you want, formulas and stuff like that. Okay, so that's another type you can use, or type of questions. So I will also show another more complicated question with multiple, typical quiz question, but a bit more advanced than the normal ones, or a bit more difficult. So in this question, this is about programming. So for instance, I can write, what will be printed to the console if this code of Python is executed? I also made a slide here, or exported a slide from PowerPoint. I upload an image here. Programming. So this is just a picture of some Python code. And you can do a lot of other things. You can have formulas, you can have a lot of different challenges here. So they really have to think, and this is not a question they can just answer within a couple of seconds. So I can make it at least 60 seconds, maybe. And then some potential answers. So 2, or -5, -1, or you can also have a different kind of answer. 0 division error. We can indicate there is actually a bug in this code, division by 0. The correct answer here is -1. This illustrates how you can use the image to ask much more challenging questions, and questions the students have to spend more time figure out or finding the answer. All right, let's take a look at another type of question. This is a question that or type of question I really think it's an awesome contribution to the question types you have in Kahoot. And you can just choose the quiz type question, but you can make it possible so multiple answers are correct, which means also you can actually answer multiple correct answers. So here's one question. So what characterizes a firewall? This is a firewall for kind of network or computer network. So I can have multiple answers here. For instance, monitors and controls traffic in and out of an internal network. Another one typically built into network switches and routers, centralizes the control of network traffic going in and out, and increases the speed of data going in and out. Yeah. So actually, for this question, there are 3 correct answers. And then you notice it said recommended that this is you will make this a multi-select question. If you make it a multi-select, the students get more points if they choose all the correct answers. But if one of them are incorrect, they get 0 points. So it's kind of, they have to choose carefully. And this is also a type of question they have to think more. So they should get a bit more time, maybe 30 seconds. And also it's nice to have an illustration, firewall. Let's see if I can find anything. Yeah, I can use maybe, yeah, I can use this one. So these type of questions are great, or to use multi-select is a great way of asking questions where you want the students actually to give more complete answers with multiple correct answers, and they have to really understand or have more knowledge about one type of question. It's just not one answer; you can have multiple correct answers. Another type of question you can have is a poll. And this is for different purposes. One way I have used polling is, for instance, is it wrong to download movies, games, and music without paying the creators of content, for instance, something like that. And you can have different, so no, but I do it anyways, maybe, but they earn so much money that it does not matter. Or maybe we can also say yes. So here, this type of polling is basically just to get a conversation going in the classroom. So if you see, for instance, as a student, there are more that actually have the same, think the same about the question, it's easier to make a discussion. You're not the only one. So let's see, I have also an illustration here. It's a question. What about this one? Yeah. I will also demonstrate word cloud, which is another type of question we have. This is basically, you can write anything up to 20 characters and you can get input from the students. So one way of using this could be, for instance, what associations do you get from the word privacy? So here the students can just add any type of association, any words, and then you get a word cloud. Also would like, let's see, an illustration for this one, maybe, yeah. My final question type I will demonstrate here is a way you can also use images in the answers, which could be useful for some of you, depending on what you're teaching. So, for instance, if you're in math, what is the quadratic formula? And it's hard to get this formula properly shown as just if you write or spell them as text, but you can also use images here. So I can just upload an image. I have downloaded some images from the net. Let's see, code folder, one formula for acceleration here. Okay, I will add another one. This one is for frequency tension relationship. And then I'll add one for gravity. And another one, which is the correct formula. And then I can just indicate which one is correct. I also want an illustration here. Formula. Oops. Formula. For instance, this one. So, and this can be used for a lot of different purposes. So instead of having text, you can also use images here, which is a nice activation. Okay, and now I have demonstrated all the different question types. So what I will do now is just to show how you can use this. You can launch a challenge in Kahoot. I just done, okay. Yeah, now I'm finished with this Kahoot. So if I want to let the students have access to this one, but we will not plan to do it in the classroom or using Zoom, but let the students play whenever they want. You can choose play and then assign. So here, first of all, this is just a deadline when the assignment is finished or the challenge is finished. I'll put, okay, some time here. You can choose if the students should have a question time or not, randomize answer order and so on. Okay, I will just create this challenge. So now I have created this challenge, and now I can always go back and look at how many have played this challenge. To invite the students, you can either give them this game pin. You notice there's a 0 in the beginning of this game pin, which means this is a challenge, which is a different way of playing. Or you can just copy the URL. I will just copy to show you what it looks like. So just copy the URL here, and this is what it looks like when you're playing Kahoot, a Kahoot challenge. Okay, so this is the code we made. Okay, Dr. Kahoot. Okay, let's go. All right. So first, the first thing we made was the slides. So we can look at the slide. Okay, I got it. That's fine. Just see. Yeah, when did the internet start? Okay. So that was basically what I wanted to demonstrate. I hope you will find a lot of usage for Kahoot when you do teaching in higher education. It's a great tool for higher education. I've used it since the beginning, of course, but it's really useful. And my students always ask me to use it very often. And now this is the end of my presentation, and I will now hand it over to Sarah.
I'm ready. Yeah. Hi there. Thank you for inviting me here. My name is Sarah Whittaker, and I'm the Senior Manager for Teaching with Technology at the Higher Colleges. So today I just want to give you a little bit of information about our institution here in the United Arab Emirates and our Kahoot journey. So we are the largest institution of higher education here in the UAE, and we have 16 campuses across the UAE. We have around 21,000 students, and they're a mix of about 68% female and 32% male. They're all Emiratis, and it's a federally funded university. I'm based in Dubai, but as you can see, we have faculty all over the country, and we have about 1,100 faculty that are full-time working at our institution. We have 6 or 7 different divisions. Our largest division is the Engineering, Technology, and Science division, followed by the business quite close after that. We also have a very large division in General Studies, and that is a supportive division of the other 7 major divisions. With me, I have a Teaching with Technology team. So of course, it's myself as the senior manager. And I also have Samantha and Raga. They are senior specialists for Teaching with Technology, and they are our teacher trainers. So they're the ones who are actually doing the lessons, doing the professional development, and trying to get faculty to use Kahoot in the classroom. We also have a role who is our PD coordinator, and she's the one who is behind our PD help desk and helping faculty enroll in our professional development courses and answering any questions, giving them the links that they need. So basically all that administrative background goes through a role. And we also have our lovely Asma. Now, Asma is our course coordinator, but she's also our Kahoot administrator. So she deals with making sure that the faculty get the access to our Kahoot license. She also helps manage our folders, which are getting massive, and I'll show you an image of that soon. So with without my team, we couldn't have the success in our implementation that we do have. So let me go through what we did for our implementation strategy. So on November 18th, 2019, we went system-wide. Now, we had a few licenses at HCT before that, but we didn't have a system-wide license. But November 18th was the magical day that we went system-wide, and we have a license for every single one of our teachers at HCT. So what did we do for our Kahoot implementation strategy? We focused in 4 different areas. One was the communication plan. Next was the professional development, education, technology, learning community that we have, and then of course, word of mouth, teachers telling other teachers. So with our launch campaign, we made sure that every faculty received an email letting them know that we have the Kahoot license. Then we sent out the email with an invitation. So they had to accept the invitation. Now, we didn't force our faculty to use Kahoot. We just said, hey, we have Kahoot. If you'd like to join, here's the invite. Join us. And then we did follow-ups in Yammer and our other social media channels. So we also did follow-up emails after our initial campaign by sending out follow-up emails about little tips and tricks about Kahoot, like file management, how to access your Kahoots, things like that. We also reminded those that didn't join with the first invite, like, hey, if you didn't join the first invite, here's how you can apply to get your Kahoot license. Because those first invites, they do expire after 7 days and faculty are busy. So sending out that email again saying, hey, don't worry, we still have an invite for you. Just fill in this application, we'll send it to you again. And we also included it in different strategies of trying to make sure they understood the benefits of Kahoot. So not just saying, hey, we have Kahoot, but saying, why would you want to use Kahoot in the classroom? We also have an EdTech blog where you can go and see all of our posts on Kahoot and other learning technology tools. And faculty subscribe to that blog and get noticed every month for all of our new blog posts. So when we launched, we put a blog post. When we included it in any of our other courses or our recommendations, or whenever there's new updates, which with Kahoot, there seems to be new updates every couple of weeks. Every time I open up Kahoot, there's something new, which is amazing. They're always implementing something, new strategy based on the feedback that they're getting from their users. We also have an EdTech learning community. Now, our learning management system here at HCT is Blackboard. And so we have something that looks like a Blackboard course, but it's not a Blackboard course. Nobody's being assessed. It's just a place where faculty can go and get all the information they need about Blackboard, Kahoot, Zoom, Collaborate Ultra, any of the learning technology tools that we're using. So we made a dedicated space just for Kahoot. And we made sure that there was a discussion board there. So anyone who had questions or needed help had the discussion board to go to, so that somebody from my team or another faculty member can answer those questions. We also recommended PD that they may want to take in case they want to learn more about Kahoot with us. We also told them information about the license and how to apply to get that license from us. And we also gave tutorial videos. So for those faculty who are just like, oh, I know about Kahoot, just how do I get started with this? We gave them the tutorials so they can just get up and running right away. As well, we gave formal professional development. We had this course before we did our system-wide license. So we have a course called Creating Engaging Formative Quizzes in Kahoot. And we go through the technical aspects of creating a Kahoot. And then we ask the faculty to go off and launch a Kahoot with their students, come back into the course and write a reflection about it. Like, how did it go? What happened? How did your students react? So this course is really effective in not only giving the technical aspects of the tool, but also giving them that experience to know what's it going to be like in the classroom. We also have a self-paced course called Kahoot Certified Bronze. And this is where we stole or maybe borrowed the Kahoot resources that they have for the certified bronze. With us, we are federally funded, and we have a rule that we have to have a minimum of 2 hours in order for it to be considered PD. So the 1 hour Kahoot certified bronze wasn't going to cut it for us. But what we did is we embedded all the information that was in the Kahoot Bronze in a Blackboard course for our faculties. And then we added a discussion board where the faculty can actually interact with each other, reflect on Kahoot, find out what are the benefits of Kahoot, and maybe discuss some of the challenges and how to overcome those challenges in the classroom with their students. So this was a great course, and it's been super popular with our teachers because they love getting certifications. Just note to anyone who's doing professional development, people love badges with their names on it and certifications with their names on it. And Kahoot Certified Bronze does that. And we're excited to see what is coming out with the certifications this September. So with the pandemic, we're in the beginning of March, we're all going and launching into online teaching. We came up with 2 new courses that we were going to offer our faculty. One of those courses is called Adding Interactivity in Your Online Classes. Now, this is not saying you're going to learn about Kahoot, but when you come in, we're going to basically show you some of the interactive tools that you can use to make your class more engaging. And one of the tools was Kahoot. So those faculty who never thought they would use Kahoot came into that course, saw a demonstration, experienced it as a student, and then realized, wait a minute, this is a really good tool. And now I understand the teaching strategy behind it. And then our license requests soared. We also did a second course called Creating Trackable Flipped Classroom Content. And in this course, we showed them how they can use Kahoot challenges for flipping the classroom. So you can create a Kahoot challenge for the students to complete before coming into the classroom, and then going more in depth with the content that they learned through the Kahoot. So what's great about Kahoot now, it's not just a quiz. You can add a YouTube, like Alf Inge showed you. You can add a YouTube at the beginning, quiz your students a little bit, add another YouTube video, quiz your students a little bit, and then track how many students finished that challenge, who finished it, and see when they come back into the classroom, diving a little bit deeper into that content. So those 4 courses are our Kahoot-based courses that we have for our faculty here at HCT. Now, the number one thing that we always rely on is word of mouth. When you have a group of teachers, for example, engineers, and they're thinking, what's Kahoot? Why would I use Kahoot? The most powerful thing is for them to hear it from another engineer, not from me. Of course, I will go in, they like me, they trust me, but to hear it from their colleague who's also teaching engineering, who's also teaching math or history or whatever, health sciences, it's always best to rely on other teachers to spread the word. So we're always asking our faculty, tell everyone we have Kahoot, tell them how to get the Kahoot. If they don't know how to get it, tell them to send me an email and I'll tell them how to get the license. It wasn't always smooth with our Kahoot implementation. So we did have a few challenges. In the beginning, we had a lot of questions of what is Kahoot? And is this really appropriate for higher education students? Like my students, they don't need gamification. They don't need this fun thing. They need to get serious in the classroom. And as you've seen with Alf Inge's presentation, that's not the case actually. And now that we've gone through these courses, and especially the last 2 courses that we introduced to the faculty, they're now realizing, okay, yeah, Kahoot can be a really useful learning technology tool to use with my students. So we overcame that challenge quite quickly. We were very lucky. Number of licenses. We have 1,100 faculty and we have a system-wide license. So distributing that number of licenses was a challenge, but we were super lucky to have a fabulous person from Kahoot join us in Dubai colleges. Sabiba, thank you. She held our hands. She helped us when we sent out the email campaign. She helped us click all those buttons to make sure everybody got the initial first invite. So based on our experience, Kahoot actually modified the admin side a little bit, which makes it super easy to manage our licenses now and super easy to send out those invites. So we overcame that challenge as well. And our final challenge, which was a big challenge in the beginning, was the HCT folder management. So I talked about that a little bit earlier. So when you have so many people in Kahoot, so many faculty, and they all have access to the folders, it can get a little chaotic. But that's where my colleague Asma comes into place where she tries to keep things organized for us. And we've sent out education reminders, letting people know how to keep them organized. But I've also heard, little birdies told me from Kahoot, that there's new things coming out with the admin management of the folders. So I'm really excited to see and hear about those updates. So let's talk about the results. So professional development results. So 54 sessions we've hosted in this academic year. So our academic year starts in August, middle of August to end of June. So we're coming close to the end of our academic year. So we've so far done 54 PD sessions. In those 54 PD sessions, we've had almost 1,500 participants. Like, it's amazing to me when I started looking at these numbers, how many people joined us in these sessions. Now, I do have to say there was a silver lining with the pandemic, because everyone was forced to go online and try to learn how to teach online and make it interactive. And so our numbers in our PD the week before we went to teach online fully just skyrocketed. And we got so many more people engaged with learning technology and with Kahoot specifically. So in total, my team has offered 6,400 hours of professional development to our faculty this academic year, just on Kahoot. We have other professional development that we've offered as well. Some of the words that are coming into our reflective discussion boards are from the faculty about Kahoot are exciting, engaging, it's encouraging, helpful, interesting, interactive. So the faculty are actually seeing the real positive benefits of using Kahoot with their students. And that is a positive thing for us because it's the word of mouth again. They're telling their colleagues. And it's not just the colleagues telling the colleagues. So it's not teachers talking to teachers. It's the students now asking the teachers, sir, are you going to do Kahoot with us? So it's not only the word of mouth between teachers, but the word of mouth between students and students to teachers as well. So when it comes to the Kahoots developed, so our teachers are trained, they're ready to go. Now, in December 3rd, this is a few weeks after we first launched, we had 305 Kahoot members. So we were like, okay, that's not bad. 2 weeks in, we're going to work on that. Now, as of June 15, we have 814 Kahoot members. Remember, this is completely voluntary. They get to choose whether they want to join Kahoot or not. So we have 814 members, and every day we get more and more requests to join the license. On February 3rd, a couple of months after launching, we had 481 Kahoots created. Now, as of June 15, we have 952 Kahoots created at HCT. So the numbers are showing that faculty are getting engaged with Kahoot. But the most important thing, okay, they're creating Kahoots, they've joined Kahoot. Are they actually launching these Kahoots? So are there challenges happening? Are there live sessions happening? Yes, we have over 1,600 Kahoot challenges launched since November 18th. And for live sessions, we have over 6,000 Kahoot live sessions. So that's almost close to 8,000 sessions just in Kahoot. And we're not even to the end of our academic year yet. Now, again, that's really great. Numbers are great. The teachers are on board. The teachers are launching. That's fantastic. But the main thing is, are the students participating? So are the students actually completing these Kahoots? Because it doesn't make a difference if the teacher's launching a Kahoot. We want to know, are the students participating in the Kahoots? I have to say, yes, they are. So for challenges, we've had over 11,000 participants in challenges alone. And for the live sessions of Kahoot, we've had 82,000 participants. We have 20,000 students at our university. We've had 82,000 Kahoot participants since November 18th. To me, that's crazy. That's mind-blowing. And even I was surprised when I saw this number, 82,000 participants. So, yep, they're definitely participating. They're definitely getting engaged with Kahoot in the classroom. The last thing that we always want to check is supporting student learning. Now, at the end of the semester, every one of our faculty have to do a continuous professional development exit survey. And one of the questions that we have on that survey is, other than Blackboard and Collaborate Ultra, which learning technology tools did you use to support student learning? Now, we don't give them options here. I don't give them a tick box. They don't get to click the ones that they're familiar with. They actually have to type and write the names of the learning technology tools that they use. And so far, 64% have said, I use Kahoot, which is great. So we have 64% of our faculty saying that Kahoot supports student learning. So what I want to do right now is let you hear from 2 of our faculty members and hear what they have to say about Kahoot.
I use Kahoot primarily for review of vocabulary, not exclusively, but primarily. We have a vocabulary quiz every 2 weeks, and I spend time reviewing the words ahead of time, and I need a way to put the words in front of the students in a way that is interesting, in a way that'll at least get them to look at the words and compare the words one to the other. So I use Kahoot, and the students take to it very well. The other thing is that this society, this culture really likes a lot of competition. So Kahoot is a bit of a competition where the guys are all, playing against each other to see who's going to win. Sometimes I do it in teams. Sometimes, most of the time though, I just say, please log in, and everybody takes a shot at it, and it works out pretty well. In fact, the other thing I want to say is, to make it more challenging, is I often reduce the time from 20 seconds to 10 seconds, and then if they're really good, from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. Sometimes I can do the same Kahoot twice, but normally once, and it depends on the time. The other thing I want to say before I run out of time is Kahoot is also a great way to introduce new concepts and new ideas outside of vocabulary. For example, you can use it for reviewing grammar points or to test knowledge. Gentlemen, let's see what you know. And you have a little short Kahoot, 5 to 8 questions on a grammar point, maybe a connective or something like that, and give them a variety of questions and see if they know which one, if they know what the answer is. And then based on that, I can sort of tailor my review of that grammar point later. So it's a lot of uses for Kahoot. Students like it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm likely to continue using it in the future.
I love Kahoot because my students love Kahoot too. And I've noticed that students who even sit in the back row come right in the front when I start the game. So which shows that they're really motivated to doing the quiz and the game. And it's perfect for a warm-up activity as well as a review at the end of the lesson. So whichever way, Kahoot really works.
So now you've heard from 2 of our faculty members of why they love using Kahoot with their students. Now, getting Kahoot is the first step. Getting Kahoot for your institution is the first step. But to make it successful, I have a few recommendations for you. First, when you are launching Kahoot, you want to make sure that you're using multiple modes of communication. Make sure you don't just send out that single email to the faculty letting them know that you have access to Kahoot now. Faculty are busy. They're going to miss that email. Not everyone is going to get it. So put it in email, put it in your blogs, put it in whatever social media that you're using. We use Yammer, so we put it into Yammer. Do whatever you can to get that message out. You don't want to bombard them, but you do want to make sure that you're using multiple modes of communication. Also, you want to make sure that in your professional development that you're offering, that you include the pedagogical integration. You're going to get buy-in from those faculty who are a little bit hesitant about what Kahoot was about and whether they wanted to use Kahoot in their classroom. When you give it to them with the teaching approaches or teaching strategies that they can use in their classroom, then you're going to have a much more successful launch. Next, you want to make sure to use the ready-made resources that are available for you. Kahoot has amazing videos already made by the experts at Kahoot. Why try to make your own? Use their YouTube videos, use their resources. When they came to us for the launch, we had a plethora of videos to share with our faculty. We also had how-to PDFs to share. Use the already made resources. Use Kahoot. As well, have a support system. It's so important. If I didn't have my team and the support system that I have, we wouldn't have been able to successfully launch this. So make sure that they know where they can go for help. We have our EdTech learning community. They know that they can post something in the discussion board and somebody's going to answer their question. They also know that they can send an email to PD help and they will respond with any kind of answers that they have. So make sure that you have a support system for the faculty. Don't just give them the tool and say, good luck. You want to make sure that they know where to turn to when they're struggling with the tool or not sure how to do something or something isn't quite working for them. So make sure that you have a support system in place. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation and learning about our Kahoot journey. I can't say it's been more than successful at HCT, and I'm just so excited to continue with Kahoot and see what else they have for us. So thank you so much. Isabella, I think it's time to actually play a Kahoot.
Oh, that's my favorite phrase. Perfect. Great. Well, let me share my screen and we'll play a Kahoot real quick. So if you've been playing Kahoots with us so far today, you know that unfortunately we have to lock the game at 100 people. So if you want to go ahead and put this PIN code into your game or into your phone or into your computer, you can split the screen between the stream and Kahoot.it. You can get in on this game. All right, now we have a new volume toggle that I'm actually using. So I can turn the volume on and we can watch a little bit of this video. I might not actually have, okay, there we go. Great, all right, we're almost to 100 people. And all right, we're locked. Okay, sorry everyone, we're just trying to make sure that the game doesn't crash while we play. Let's get started. All right, lessons and learnings from higher education. Let's go. First question is actually a word cloud. So do you have any takeaways from this session on higher education? So word cloud is one of our new features. It's pretty cool. You can actually type in your response and then it shows up like a big word cloud. Any takeaways? And Sarah, I've been moderating the chat and we haven't had too many questions. We've had a lot of questions, but most of them were very technical. So I was able to handle them in
Excellent.
there.
Great.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at these takeaways. Okay, Sarah, what do you think of the takeaways?
Pretty good, engaging. Oh, some people are inspired. That's great. Yeah, fun learning, interactive. Perfect. Yeah.
Yes, that's so great. So Kahoot is an awesome tool for engagement, much like Alf Inge said and like Sarah has said in her presentation. It's great for that. So what year was the Kahoot concept conceived?
Paying attention for this.
All right. Yeah, were you paying attention?
I don't know. I was a little nervous for my own presentation.
No, it is. It's hard to watch when you're trying to do other things.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, and so like the other Kahoots, if you win first, second, or third, we are giving out prizes, okay? And so if you win, you need to screenshot and email it to me. And my email is isabellav@kahoot.com. And I'll remind you of this before the podium. Okay, let's see. What year did Kahoot get started? The correct answer is 2006. That's right. So 14 years ago. Yay! But we really
attention.
Yay, Sarah got it. One of the 11 people. Yes, so we started back in 2006, but we really didn't become used until 2013, 2012. It took a while to build it out. Great. All right, Sarah, you're number one. I don't know if that's fair.
I'll try to like step it back a little bit, but it was the question that I would really do.
Overachieving. So the main conclusion of this literature review is that Kahoot improves learning performance, increases student anxiety, improves classroom dynamics, or improves student attitudes. Which one do you think it is? And if you notice, this is actually a multi-select answer.
So that's what makes it more difficult. The multi-select, I love that. I love that you can multi-select now. That's like, because now you can make your questions even more challenging for your students.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, great job, everyone. So I think we're gonna have lots of points on this. Oh, Monica G. Sarah, you're still up there though.
Rosie that I know, that my friend Rosie.
Oh, good. All right. So only 2 more questions. Another multi-select. What is true about this person? Is she manager of teaching with technology at the higher colleges of technology? Born in Finland, Apple distinguished educator and a certified Apple educator. Over 19 years of teaching experience. Who could this person be?
Yeah.
Sarah, I don't know if it's
I'm
fair.
not going to answer because it's not fair. Because I do know the answer. Because
it's her. That's right. So Sarah is all of these things, except she was not born in Finland. Where were you born, Sarah?
in Canada.
In Canada, that's right.
Yeah, living in Dubai for the last 12 years, but born and raised in Canada.
Perfect. Well, I think we have one more question. So again, if you get first, second, or third, please screenshot it and email it to me at isabellav@kahoot.com. And that way I can get you your prizes. We have shirts, and the first place winner gets a free Kahoot premium account. All right. We have a couple of people in the lead. It's a close game, though. All right. The last question is a puzzle. So it's where you have to move the tiles around. Organize question types according to when they were added to Kahoot. Quiz.
I'm actually try on this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Quiz, multi-select quiz, puzzle, and open-ended.
That's a good question.
What is the correct order based on when they were added to Kahoot? So what was the first question type and what is the newest question type?
I love how they ask you, pure genius? I'm like, I hope so. Am I a pure genius? I think I am.
You totally are.
Well, who think I am? I think so.
Yes, Kahoot thinks you are.
Thanks.
All right, just a few more answers, then I'm going to go ahead and skip through this one since we're almost out of time. Okay, so remember, if you win, screenshot it and email it to me, isabellav@kahoot.com. All right, 16%. That's not bad. This was a tough question. So let's see that podium. And then Sarah and I will say a quick goodbye so we can start our next session. All right, Kim.
Well done.
Great job. Rag half. Awesome job. And in first place, Go ahead. Yay. Congratulations to all of our winners. Awesome job. And let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And Sarah, do you want to go ahead and say goodbye? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Alf Inge, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And also thank you, the whole Kahoot team, for all the support with our implementation journey. I don't think we could have been as successful as we have been without your support. So thank you so much. And all the help that Kahoot that we send as well. So thanks for being so positive and responding to all of our questions and queries.
Yes. Well, thank you, Sarah. We really appreciate you taking the time to do this. You're such a big Kahoot fan. I loved hearing what you had to say. So thank you, everyone, for attending. Stick around in a few minutes. We're doing insights, data-driven instruction, and we're going to go all about the Kahoot report. So stay tuned. Bye.